In a game where most of us Bulls fans thought the Bulls would probably lose, they got away with the victory, winning 108-104 against the Philadelphia 76ers. And you got to say, this was the type of game you want to see as a fan. Coby White came out, did his job. Vooch came out, put some points on the board, and the Bulls as a team played good team defense. Embiid did go off, but that's what's to be expected from one of the best players in the league. But they stopped the other players from getting hot. We're going to talk about the players who did good, and we're going to talk about what we have to really focus on to make this offense even more special, all after the intro.
Give me the hot sauce! Give me the hot sauce! And the Bulls have the lead by 3. I want to go higher! Oh, my goodness!
Welcome to the Let's Talk Bulls podcast.
Welcome back, Bulls Nation, to Let's Talk Bulls, your number one Bulls podcast in Chicago. My name's Quinton. I'm your host. And if you're liking what you're seeing or you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you're notified when I drop more of these videos. And with that, we're going to get right into it. The first person we're going to talk about in this video is Coby White. And he's been the first person we talk about a lot lately, and that's because he has officially taken the reins of this Bulls team and said, I am the captain now. It is my team. We win or we lose through me. Coby White, 40 minutes, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 9 for 17 shooting in this game, and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He did not extend his record of getting 3 three-pointers in a game this game, but that's okay. Coby did everything else you needed him to do and came very close to a triple-double, and I really think at some point in this season he will get that triple-double. But yeah, Coby's just been on a rampage. He's really taken it in that this is his chance to take the keys of the Chicago Bulls. And the entire roster has accepted it. They understand and they trust that he has the skill and he has the talent to be our point guard going forward. Not only did Coby have a good game, but Vooch also chipped in 34 minutes, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 10 for 18 shooting from the field, and Vooch just had a Vooch game. Now, I'm very surprised that Vooch did what he did, especially going up against Embiid. I know it was a very big defensive assignment for him, and honestly, he didn't do much to stop Embiid, but there's not much you can really do. Embiid's one of the best players in the league, and he was just getting his shot when he wanted it. He was in that mid-range very consistently. We did keep him from getting to the rim a lot, which is a very good sign from the Bulls. But what you had to see is that Vooch did his best, and he tried to help as much as he can on the defensive end when you go against a star as good as Joel Embiid. Now, with that, DeMar DeRozan chipped in 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He didn't have the greatest of games. He was kind of complaining a little bit. He thought he was getting fouled a lot, and it just wasn't being called. And that's been a little bit of an issue with DeMar I've been seeing throughout this season is he starts to think if he's not getting calls, you see him get frustrated. He starts to force shots. He starts to do a little bit more than he needs to do, and it starts to become basically the DeMar show. Whatever he can do to try to take over. And that's not something you want to see from one of your stars. If you're not having it, if they're not calling the call, give it to whoever has the hot hand. Coby White was the star of this game. If you were having trouble, give it to Coby, let Coby take over. Right now, you being sad, you being disappointed, and you forcing shots is not helping this offense get better. That takes me to Patrick Williams, 13 points, 6 rebounds, no assist, 3 for 4 from the three-point line. Patrick got a little bit hot at the start of this game, looking like he was ready to play again. That kind of slowed down towards the end. But I think it's officially time to say Patrick Williams might have found what he needs to do. And one of the things about that is Patrick was drafted 4th overall for the Bulls a few years ago, and the thought process was he could become a franchise player for this team. And an issue with Pat is he started out passive, but also the Bulls fans as a nation, we tend to judge players too early. And they're starting to see that right now, right? We're a team, we're an entire culture where when we draft a player high, right, top 10 in any sport, we expect them to come out and be one of the greatest players ever to touch the ball ever in the history of anything right out the gate. We really expect that if we draft anyone in the top 10, they're immediately Derrick Rose or they're LeBron James or they're Dwayne Wade or they're Wemby. They're just going to turn the entire team around immediately with no issues. And that's not how sports works. You have to grind. You have to work. When you look at Steph Curry, he was not Steph Curry until about 4 or 5 years in. And then he turned it on. It clicked. And that's what happens. Van Fleet came into this league. He started to get comfortable, and then he took over. John Wall did not start out super good. He started playing way too fast, and then he took over. You have to let your players grow. We can see from Coby White and Patrick Williams, both are young players who were drafted around the same time. They're both going through struggles, injuries, ups and downs with their game. And they've also gone through the ringer with the Bulls Nation talking about we should trade them. We should get rid of them. They're bums. They're not worthy. They're not worth it. They're not good basketball players. And Coby White came out to show us that that is not true. He is one of the best players we have on this team. And you can see as he grows with his confidence, Patrick Williams is starting to grow as well. He's taking more shots. He looks aggressive. He's getting down towards the rim and doing all the things you want to see him do. But the thing for us Bulls fans we have to do is maybe accept that Patrick Williams is not going to be the number one. Coby is probably going to be our number one. Pat looks like he could be a good number 3, maybe number 2 if he starts to keep putting it together. But he just needs to play his role. Klay Thompson is great, not because he can take people off the dribble, not because he's one of the greatest athletes in the history of the NBA, not because he's one of the greatest dribblers or greatest layup packages ever in the history of the NBA. No, Klay Thompson is great because he knows his role. You play defense, you move without the ball, you shoot when you're open, and you keep your team making positive plays, and you do it to the best of your physical abilities. And that's what Patrick's starting to learn. When does he need to touch the ball? When does he need to shoot? When does he need to attack? That's what you want from him. I don't need him to try to be the end-all, be-all of this team. I don't need him to be DeMar. I need Patrick to be Patrick. Be strong when you can, dunk when you can, get rebounds when you can, but don't overwork yourself. Learn what your role is and give it everything you got so you can become the most of what you are as a player. Now, taking that further, Patrick, Vooch, DeMar, White, Coby all had good games. I would assume we'll had an okay game, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Didn't play too much, didn't play too well. He was just kind of out there, but he didn't do terrible, and that's what you just need to have. Not everybody's going to have a great game every game. I just want Io to keep being consistent. You didn't see him driving down the lane too much this game. You didn't see him on the fast break this game. I need to see more of that. That's just where he shines. If that's not an opportunity, you tend to see he doesn't score very well in games where he can't get out on the fast break. Caruso played this game and looked like Caruso. So getting more into the game before we talk about the bench, the way this game started, the Bulls were keeping up with the 76ers. It started out a little bit slow the first couple minutes with shots for both teams. As it picked up, the Bulls started to look like they were keeping it in the game, and that's what you want to see. Even if the Bulls are not winning, even if they're not doing amazing, you want to see them keep up with these teams, right? These star teams, some of the best teams in the league type of teams. You want the Bulls to stay close. You want them to be able to fight and give themselves a chance to win every night. And that's what we're seeing now, right? As the game went on, the Bulls started to get more and more comfortable. The offense started to look like the offense we've been seeing as of late. There was more ball movement. There was more off-ball movement. We were looking for the open man. Vooch was getting touches in the paint. We were passing it out. It was quick touch passes. And then on top of that, we had a hot shooter, which has been happening. The good thing is we have enough shooters on this team now where if one person's not having a good night, another one might step up. And tonight, that was Javon Carter. He stepped up. We've been asking to see more of him. 18 minutes, 12 points, 4 for 11 from the field goal. 4 for 8 from three-point. He was shooting. He was looking consistent. He finally looked comfortable. And that doesn't happen too often with Carter, probably because he's not getting the minutes or the position he thought he was really going to get coming into this team. But he's starting to make it work. Drummond did a Drummond game. Most importantly, off the bench, though, was Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso, you can see, is the heart of this team as well. Coby has been pushing us forward, but Alex Caruso is the one that makes this team look complete. When he is on the floor, you can arguably say the Bulls look like a different defense and a different offense. They move more without the ball when he's on the floor. They talk more on defense when he's on the floor. They are not in the wrong positions. They take more charges. They do everything better when Alex Caruso is on the floor, and that's because he talks. He tells players where they're supposed to be. He does all of the small little things that make a team go. And I have to say, you just have to love having Alex Caruso on your team. It's one of those things where if you know you can re-sign Alex after this season to a good term contract, you got to do it. He just fits this team too well. If you can't, then yeah, trade him. Get pieces because you know he is valuable. You know you will get some things for him. But you got to love having a man like that on your team who gives 100% every time. Now, during the end of this game, the Bulls started to break down a little bit. They started to make some mistakes. That's something that's going to happen. The team is still young, right? DeMar was trying to give Coby some of that fourth quarter love, let him take over a little bit, but he made a couple bad decisions, and then DeMar took over. And that's what you want to see, though, right? DeMar did take over this game at the end, but before he did, he tried to let Coby have a couple shots or have a couple chances to do what he needs to do before he did take over. Coby didn't step up, and he needs to grow into that position. He needs time. He needs chances, right? But when he didn't step up, DeMar decided that it was his time. When the game's close, DeMar said, no, we're not going to lose this game if I know I can make it where we don't. Now, mind you, he did miss a free throw. He's been shooting free throws really bad lately, but DeMar closed the game out. The Bulls did what they needed to do. We beat the 76ers once again, and this is becoming a routine for the Bulls. Doing the things you need to do to play with the top teams, and if they can continue to do that, they definitely have a chance of making the playoffs. Now, what I want to hear from you guys is in the comment section, leave me a comment. Is it official that Coby White is the number one for the Bulls? Or do you think DeMar DeRozan is still number one? Leave that down in the comment section. With that, I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful time. I hope you enjoyed the win tonight. I hope you have a great night. I love you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next time. Peace.